Howdy, my name is John. I recently celebrated my first year anniversary on BookTube. I wanted to make a video to help out someone that is new to BookTube and kind of pass on the lessons that I've learned in the past year. I welcome anyone who is a BookTube veteran to leave comments below to provide additional advice that I happen to leave out in this video. I do want to offer this disclaimer. Not everything I discuss in this video will work for you. You will want to take every bit of advice that I give and test it as to whether or not it is applicable to you. These are things that I have found useful, and how useful you find them may depend on how close you are to me. I want to start by sharing the story of how I discovered BookTube. One day, while I was reading through the middle of the Xanth series by Piers Anthony, I typed it into the search bar to see what was available on YouTube. I found a few videos of kind of low quality and people who were, either embarrassed they had read it or were, had enjoyed it, but it wasn't the typical quality of videos that I was used to seeing on YouTube at the time. Shortly thereafter, YouTube recommended a video with various fantasy recommendations done by Murphy Napier and Daniel Green. I started to watch more and more of their videos, and YouTube offered up other of their videos as well. Eventually, I learned of the BookTube Newbie Tag, and as I researched that tag, I thought more and more about starting my own channel. The BookTube Newbie Tag is one of the videos that you do want to do fairly early on in your BookTube experience. I don't necessarily recommend that you do it the very first video, because you really kind of want to get a couple of videos underneath your belt, get comfortable in front of the camera and editing videos before you put out your BookTube Newbie video. The reason being is there is a small number of people that actually search for the BookTube Newbie Tag, and they go and they welcome new people to the community. When I was doing this, I found it useful if the person had already had one or two other videos when I was deciding whether or not I would subscribe to that channel. Now, I would like to talk about what I like to think of as BookTube best practices. The nice thing about BookTube is you really don't need a fancy camera. I am filming with the webcam that's built into my laptop. I know the quality of video really isn't that good. I'm also using the built-in microphone that came with my laptop. Fortunately, the built-in microphone picks up my voice really well, and I have a good volume on my videos. And that is one thing that you really want to make sure that you do have, is that you want to make sure your microphone is picking you up very well. You want to listen to one of your videos on BookTube and make sure that you're not having to turn the volume way up. A lot of people, when they watch BookTube, actually listen to the speaker more than they watch the videos. They're actually doing other chores while they're watching the BookTube videos. And there's nothing wrong with this. As long as you can be heard, people will watch your videos. If they have to struggle to hear your videos, they may decide to move on to other channels. I am going to recommend a couple of videos that kind of go over the technical side of BookTube better than what I could do. The first is a series of 3 videos by Gene from Gene Bookish Thoughts, and I'll provide the playlist in the description below. The next is a tutorial on thumbnails done by Epic Tales, and I'll provide a link to his video in the description below. Let's talk about what goes into the title of your video. You are limited to 100 characters. You want as much information as you can pack into that 100 characters as you can fit in. Think back again to the story of how I discovered BookTube. I did a search for my favorite author and series. The words in the title are primarily what YouTube is going to use when someone does a search. If the words match what the person has entered, there's a good chance that YouTube will recommend your video. Next, let's talk about what goes into the description of your video. Again, YouTube does use what's in the description when it's compiling its search results. So again, as much information as you can put in there. You have a 5,000 character limit. If you mention another channel in one of your videos, it is considered good manners to list that channel and a link to that channel in the description. If you are talking about multiple books in a video, it is also a good idea to list all of those books and the authors in the description. Again, there's a chance that YouTube will include your video if someone does a search on one of those books. It's also a courtesy to the viewer because if a viewer discovers a book that that person would like to read, it's very easy for that person to copy the text and then enter it into either Goodreads or Amazon or Book Depository or Thrift Books or another website where they like to order books. If they're writing it down on a piece of paper, it can help them with spelling. If you have a long video, it's a good idea to include video chapters. Basically, this is a list of timestamps where a viewer can jump around and watch the portion of the video that they would like to watch. The trick to video chapters is you must include a timestamp that is 0.00. This tells YouTube that your video does include chapters. One thing that you may want to consider doing as soon as you start doing videos is closed captions. These are used by the hearing impaired to read what you are saying. YouTube actually does a pretty good job providing automated closed captioning. However, I do suggest that you go and you duplicate and edit those automated closed captions because, first of all, YouTube does not provide punctuation in those automated closed captions. As someone who reads a lot of fantasy, there's a lot of difficult to spell names. The YouTube algorithm typically does not spell those names correctly. These closed captions are also useful to someone who does not speak English as their primary language. Now I want to talk about the types of videos that are common on BookTube. The first type of video I want to talk about are book hauls. Book haul videos have the benefit of being really easy to make, so they're perfect for someone who is new to making videos. All you really have to do is buy some books, turn on your camera, and show those books to the camera. Maybe talk a little bit about them if you know something about them. Book hauls are very popular videos. There are people who actually search for book hauls, and that's how they'll find new channels. The videos will show the viewer your taste in books. It gives the viewer the opportunity to write in the comments a book that they saw that they've either read before or they're interested in reading themselves, and they can encourage you to read it sooner than some of the other books in the haul. The next type of video is called the tag video. What a tag video is it's a series of prepared questions that you then answer. These videos are also fairly easy to make. You don't have to put a lot of effort into your tag videos. If you choose, it can be a good exercise in editing, as you can add graphics or other features to your videos. These videos are also very popular They give the viewer the chance to know you a little bit better. It will also give you the opportunity to show off some books that you read before joining BookTube. Tag videos are a great way to evaluate other booktubers to see if you want to subscribe to their channel. And it gives other booktubers a way to get to know you and see if they want to subscribe to your channel. Tag videos are called tag videos because they're a variation on the childhood game of Tag You're It. At the end of the video, you will name several booktubers who you would like to see create a video answering the same set of questions. Now, unfortunately, YouTube really doesn't have a way of letting other people know that you have tagged them. You are depending on those other booktubers watching your video and then acknowledging that you have tagged them. It is perfectly acceptable to let a creator know by commenting on one of their videos that you have tagged them in one of yours. Instagram does have an automatic notification of tags. You may want to start an Instagram account and create a post linking to the tag video that you have done, and then you can tag their Instagram account in the text of the post. Generally speaking, if you have been tagged in a video, it is good manners to thank the person who tagged you in the comments and give kind of an indication of how soon you'll be able to do the video. If you do not feel comfortable answering the set of questions, go ahead and tell the person that, hey, this isn't a set of questions that I feel comfortable answering. Most people will understand, and they will be thankful that you at least responded to the tag. If you do decide to tag someone, you should really search their videos first to make sure that they have not already done the tag. Before you film the tag video, I do suggest that you watch the original creator's video. Sometimes questions can be worded a bit ambiguously. If you watch the original tag, that sometimes can clear up the ambiguity. There are a few things that I would suggest you include in both your video and in the description. You want to mention the person that originally created the tag. You want to mention the person who tagged you. You want to mention the people who you are tagging. And then you want to include the set of questions in the description. By including the set of questions, this will help the people that you have tagged to answer those questions. Typically what I will do is I will copy the list of questions in the video, and then I will save them to a Word document. You do not need to be tagged in order to film a certain set of questions. Tag videos are great for beginners because they give you something to talk about. It's fairly easy for most people to read a question and then answer the question. In that case, I would suggest that you mention the name of the channel where you first saw the tag video, if you can remember it. You do not have to tag anyone in a video that you make, especially when you're first getting started out. You don't really have a lot of BookTube friends yet. There will also be times where you're just the last person to do the tag of those that you know. In either of those cases, it's perfectly okay to say, hey, I'm not going to tag anybody for this, but if you want to do it, go right ahead. While there are exceptions to this, generally speaking, I do not do a tag video until I've been tagged for it. I like to keep my tags open. That way, when someone I know does a tag, if they actually care to search, they will see that I have not done the tag, and then that gives them someone to tag. It is a little bit stressful trying to figure out who to tag, and I want to make that as easy for my friends as I possibly can. This process of tagging other people is a great way of growing your channel. When a creator that you like tags other people in their video, it's a good idea to go and check those other creators out. You're very likely to find that they've listed several other channels that you will enjoy watching as well. The next type of video that I want to talk about is either the weekly or the monthly wrap-up videos. If you are capable of reading 2 or 3 books every week, you might want to consider doing weekly wrap-up videos. This is just a summary of the books that you have read that week. If you don't read quite that many books in a week, you will want to consider either doing 2 wrap-ups a month or a single wrap-up a month. I only read about 7 to 10 books a month, so the monthly wrap-up works well for me. You will not want to do a dedicated review for every single book that you read. These wrap-up videos give you a good chance to talk briefly about those books. If you have made or are planning to make a dedicated review, you can mention that in your wrap-up. In that case, I would suggest keeping your comments fairly short about that book. Basically, if you give star ratings, give the star rating that you gave and a general idea of what you liked about it and what you didn't like about it. In most cases, I do advise you to keep your comments about each book fairly short. Really, all you need to mention is how well you like the book. In most cases, the viewer is going to be familiar with the book and they don't really need a detailed plot summary. Personally, I've found that these wrap-up videos are my favorite type of videos to watch. You do get a glimpse into the creator's personality, and you also get a list of books that you can decide whether or not you want to read. By watching a variety of different creators and their wrap-up videos, I can get a pretty good idea on if a book is something I want to read or not. It also gives me a wide variety of books to choose from. This type of video is fairly popular. You should get a good percentage of your subscribers actually watching these videos. If you do list the books that you mentioned in the description, there's actually a good chance that YouTube will recommend the video if someone types in the book name or author into the search bar. The next type of video that I want to talk about is the TBR, or to be read, or something I've been seeing more recently, a POP, or pile of possibilities. Basically, this is a list of books that you are planning on reading or that you might read in the next month. This gives your audience a chance to decide that they also want to pick up the book and read it as well. That way they can better interact if you do a dedicated review or a dedicated discussion. That way they'll be able to participate in those videos. Now, all of the videos that I have mentioned before, those are going to be primarily watched by your subscribers. Especially at the beginning, your subscribers are going to be other booktubers. The next 2 types of videos that I'm going to talk about will, as time progresses, actually be watched more by non-subscribers than subscribers. These videos are non-spoiler book reviews and spoiler-filled discussion videos. A lot of booktubers don't actually watch book reviews unless they've read the book. This actually comes as a surprise to most newbies. It certainly did to me. The reason for this is actually fairly simple. One, we do watch a lot of BookTube, as well as create content. Most booktubers, myself included, actually want to approach a book knowing really as little about the plot as possible. That way we're able to form our own opinions about the book and then give basically our opinions that aren't influenced by what others have said about the book. Making a dedicated book review is a great way for other booktubers to find your channel and decide whether or not they're going to subscribe to you. A good example for me is the book The Rage of Dragons by Evan Winter. If I find a channel that has done a dedicated review for this, since I've already read the book, I like to watch their video for that book. That gives me a good idea whether or not that person's reading taste align with mine. The primary purpose of book reviews is actually to connect with people who are new to BookTube. Remember my story at the beginning of the video when I typed in my favorite author and series into the search bar? That's how I discovered BookTube. Someone who is unfamiliar with BookTube very well may type in one of their favorite books into the search bar. You want your video to show up in the results. I do suggest that you type in the name of the book, the author of the book, if it's part of the series name, and if you still have characters left, whether or not the review has spoilers or is spoiler free. You also want to include that information in the thumbnail. Here are the analytics of a few of my videos to illustrate. The first is the analytics from my January 2021 book haul. As you can see, most of the views came very early in the video's history. I've still gotten a few views here and there as time has gone up by. You can also see that 83% of the views came from subscribers, with another 17% that has come from those who have not subscribed to my channel. This is the analytics from my February 2021 wrap-up. Again, most of the views came early in the video's life, and most of those who have watched the video have been subscribed to me. This is the analytics for my book addiction tag, and I think it's fairly typical of my other tag videos. Again, most of the views came early in the video's life, but it's gotten a few more than the other two as time has progressed. Also, it's mostly subscribers who have watched the video, but at a smaller percentage than the other two. This is the analytics for my spoiler-free review of The Rage of Dragons. This one has gotten a fair amount of reviews as time has gone by, and as you can see, it's only a little over half of those who subscribe to me have watched the video. This is the analytics for my Rage of Dragons spoiler discussion. This one hasn't gotten very many views as time has gone by. As you can see, only 40% of the views on this video have come from subscribers. This is the analytics for my Dragonlance Chronicles series review that has no spoilers. Now, part of the reason for the discrepancy between not subscribed and subscribed is this is one of my earliest videos and I didn't have very many subscribers at the time. You'll also notice that it took 16 days for it to get its first view. That was because I immediately released the spoiler-filled discussion video immediately after I released this video. YouTube promoted that video, and that video was the one that my subscribers watched. Because of this experience, I started a rule where I would not release videos within 24 hours of each other. Unless you are going for a video every day, I would recommend leaving 48 hours between videos. That way each video gets a chance to find its own audience. You can use the schedule function to automatically schedule when your video is released. As time has gone by, this has gotten a good number of views. It's actually the 5th most watched on my channel now. The spike at the end of April is when Noah from Everyone Who Reads It Must Converse announced a Dragonlance read-along. That brought a lot of new eyeballs to my channel. As you can see, this video has not gotten me any subscribers As I mentioned, it was fairly early on making videos, and it's not a very good video. Obviously, I need to work on improving my presentation. It does, however, illustrate the potential of doing a review video. One thing to note about doing book reviews and discussions is these are the hardest videos to actually make. I do recommend taking notes on the book if you're planning on doing a review for the book. And you really have to sit and think about what you're going to say. A spoiler-free book review should answer the question of the viewer whether or not they should read the book. I recommend keeping a spoiler-free review fairly short. Try to keep the plot summary as brief as possible. Generally speaking, someone who watches a spoiler-free review has already watched a fair number of other reviews, and they probably already know what the book is about. Really, they're just looking to see whether or not you enjoyed the book. If you enjoyed the book, try to give a reason why you enjoyed the book without spoiling the details of it. If you didn't like the book, try to explain why, again without spoiling the details of the book. A discussion video where you talk about spoilers in the book can be the hardest types of videos to make, but they can also be the most fun. These videos are obviously for people who have read the book. These types of videos can be as long as you want to make them, because someone who has really enjoyed the book, or even someone who really disliked the book, is willing to watch a longer video. Most likely you will get good interaction with your viewers in the comments. These can be difficult to make because you do need to read carefully and make notes, and you really have to think about what you want to say before you make the video. When done well, these videos can be the most rewarding. One type of video to consider is a video where you talk about the book spoiler-free in the first section of the video, and then you discuss spoilers in the latter section of the video, where you give a clear verbal and visual warning that the non-spoiler section has ended and you are about to discuss spoilers. Before I started to make videos of my own, I actually preferred the two separate videos where one video was spoiler-free and the other had a discussion. Once I started making videos and figured out how hard these videos can be to make, that's when I started to adopt the hybrid method. A lot of times because I don't always have a lot to say in a spoiler section of the video. I may only have one or two things that I want to bring out. When I read the first book in a series, typically that is when I will do both a spoiler-free review and a spoiler discussion. When you get to later books in the series, most people are not going to watch a spoiler-free review to see if they're going to read subsequent books in a series. For later books in the series, I do like to do hybrid reviews. I can give a brief, non-spoiler summation, whether or not I like the book, for those people who do actually want to decide whether or not they're going to read the next book in a series. And then if I want to talk spoilers, I can get into spoilers, and that way I only have to make a single video. There are a couple of other types of videos that I'm only going to talk about briefly, because I don't really participate in these types of videos. The first is vlogs. Basically, this is a long video that shows you reading a book and maybe talking about the book, and it also gives viewers a chance to see what you do outside of reading. Like I said, I don't make vlogs, and I don't really watch vlogs very much anymore. There are a lot of content creators that do provide these type of videos, and I suggest you search those out if you're interested. The other type of videos are readathons, or read-alongs. These are very popular on BookTube, and if you're interested in participating in those, I would suggest you search those out. Now I'm going to talk about growing your channel. As I'm filming this video, my subscriber count is about 140, which really is not that impressive. You may be wondering why you should listen to me about growing your subscriber count. I certainly understand your hesitation. If you want to grow your subscriber count very quickly, you should probably seek the advice of others who have done it. However, I have observed channels that have grown very quickly, and they're doing things that either I'm not capable of doing or that I'm unwilling to do. I started my channel really as a personal project. This is a way for me to improve at something that I'm not very good at. I have plenty of other booktubers who leave comments on my videos. That's actually the nice thing about BookTube. You really don't need a large subscriber count in order to have meaningful interactions with other people. Once my subscriber count hit about 50, that was when I had a stable enough number of other people who were watching and commenting on my videos that I really didn't have to stress about it anymore. Once you've made your BookTube Newbie Tag video, then you're going to want to spend a month or two or maybe more searching for other BookTube Newbie Tag videos. You will want to enter that into the search bar and then filter by upload date. Basically, that's the best time to go and tell other people, hey, I'm new too, welcome to BookTube. The biggest problem about growing your channel by searching the BookTube Newbie Tag is that you will find a lot of channels only make 2 or 3 videos and then quit. You will want to watch other booktubers who have about 100 to 200 subscribers, maybe even a little less. Go and watch their videos and then comment on their videos. There's a chance that they will return the favor, watch one of your videos, and comment on it. You will also want to pay attention to who comments on other people's videos. If they are commenting on those videos, there's a good chance that they will watch your video and comment on it as well. Tag videos are a great way to grow your channel as well. If a booktuber is comfortable enough with another booktuber to tag them in a video, there's a good chance that it will be a channel that you can interact with as well. As I mentioned earlier, searching for channels with a review of a book that you have already read is a great way to grow your channel as well. One thing I did not realize when I started my channel was how much of the conversation actually takes place on platforms other than YouTube. Usually the channels that grow very quickly are those creators who are participating on Discord servers. Those servers do provide a good way to gain in reputation, and the members of those servers are very supportive of one another. One of the best examples that I've seen is the Shelf Space Discord server run by Jesse May. Now, it may be a little bit too large now for a newbie to join, but there are plenty of other Discord servers that you can join and be a part of. One of the reasons my channel has been so slow to grow is I don't really like participating on Discord servers or other type of forums. Platforms such as Instagram and Twitter are also great ways to grow your channel. I've observed that most people with both a YouTube channel and an Instagram channel usually have more followers on their Instagram account. It's important to understand that your initial audience will be other booktubers, especially small ones like yourself. There is not a large number of people who watch smaller booktubers who do not create content themselves. If you want to grow your channel, you do need to budget some time to watch other small booktubers' channels and leave comments on those videos. If you can leave a comment that points out a detail in the video, you are more likely to have earned the booktuber's respect and will make them more likely to watch one of your videos as well. One last suggestion that I would offer is do not try to monetize your channel too early. This actually turns some people off and they will not watch your videos because of that. BookTube is a fun hobby, and really you should treat it as a hobby until your subscriber count gets to over 1,000. The most important advice that I can offer you is do not get discouraged. It may take a little while for you to find an audience. You may watch other channels start and get a large subscriber count in a very short amount of time, whereas yours may take a while to grow. As long as you're having fun making videos and interacting with other creators, that's really all that's important. In conclusion, I wish you the best of luck in your BookTube adventure. I wholeheartedly believe that BookTube is a place where every single person can come and talk about the books that they're reading and find someone else who will listen to them and talk about those books. You don't need a large subscriber count. You don't need the best equipment to film with. As long as you are honest and bring your personality to the table, you will be successful. There will be times when real life will get in the way of doing this hobby. My advice is to let real life get in the way. I've met a lot of great people by having my BookTube channel, and I hope you do as well. If you need to take a break from BookTube, most of those people that you find will welcome you back when you are able to return. I hope that you have found this video useful. There are several other such videos that I have watched that I'll link in the description. I do encourage you to keep learning. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.